Imagine you have the draft electoral roll of your booth published by the Election Commission recently. Will you be able to tell me how many voters from your booth have been shifted to new addresses or how many of them have been absent? I bet you won't be able to give me the exact figures. It's not your fault. The fault lies with the Election Commission. The Commission has not published the segregated data on people who are shifted or absent despite possessing it. Instead, it released the data clubbing both the categories. These two reasons have been used arbitrarily to delete many voters from the electoral roll. In this video, we will tell you the importance of disaggregated data of absent and shifted. I am T.A. Amiruddin and I am joined by the New Indian Express Chief of Bureau Pon Vasant and reporter Praveena S.A. In your story, you were mentioning about the disaggregated data on absent and shifted. It's not provided by EC.
Correct.
Basically, we don't know whether they are absent or shifted. They clubbed it together and they put out a figure.
Correct.
But you disaggregated the data using tools. But my question is, how important is disaggregated data in this context?
Okay, so this I will give a broader picture based on why we looked at the data, but I think Praveena can also add because a lot of the reporting was informed by what the BLO said in the lack of clarity regarding when they should apply which reason, particularly between these two, okay? But to give a bit of a broader overview, ECA in its very short communication that it sent to all the CEOs before starting the SIR, it said enumeration forms that are not returned from users, basically during you submit a form for verification, if it doesn't come back or if it comes back without adequate details, they can be dropped from the draft rolls for one of the four reasons, which that is shifted, absent, deleted, or duplicate or deceased. Okay, four reasons. It did not elaborate when the official should use shifted, when they should use absent, deletion, deceased and duplicate. At least it's easily understandable, right? There may not be any confusion. So one thing that immediately got my attention was how this figure was not given in a disaggregated manner when the draft rolls were released. Because I would like to highlight that Muruganandam sir, who is our senior correspondent, got access to some possible number of deletions ahead of the draft rolls also, and we published a couple of stories. So in some of internal reports that we accessed, we knew that the disaggregated data existed, because there we saw how many were shifted and how many were absent. But for some reason, ECA chose to give it as a clubbed number. And the other reason is that shifted and absent only accounted for nearly 67% of total deletions in Tamil Nadu. It's like every third voter, every 2 out of 3 voters who got dropped were marked as either shifted or absent. Whereas if your real objective is to identify duplicates and all, one would identify the number of duplicates to be higher. But we had only 4% of duplicates in the whole numbers, some 3.9 lakh or so, okay? So we suspected that something could be going wrong here. Therefore, we looked at the actual deletion records of all the 97 lakh people, which we accessed through some software tools and processed it. There a clear pattern emerged that it was used arbitrarily. There were booths where 500 or 600 people have been deleted, where either everybody is marked as shifted or there is one absent and 599 shifted, something like that. Yeah. So the example we highlighted in the story was Harbour, which is a constituency in Chennai, which is also urban in nature, then Vellore city constituency, which is also urban in nature. So Harbour did not identify, in the entire constituency I am saying, when they deleted tens of thousands of people, they did not identify a single person to be absent. Vellore, on the other hand, identified 30,000 people to be absent and another 10 or 15 to be shifted. So how did that happen? Like if migration is a problem, then some similarity should be there in the data, right? And sorry, I forgot to mention the definition that was given to the officials. Nothing on paper. As I said, the ECA did not issue written instructions. But what the officials told the BLOs and EROs was that a person can be marked shifted if the BLO can reliably learn or confirm that the person has permanently shifted out of that place. He or she is no more an ordinary resident of that constituency. Now you can verify that by directly calling up that person or with the neighbors, some sort of inquiry. On the other hand, absent means, that's why absent category becomes important. Absent means the person continues to be a resident, just that you are not able to find the person during the enumeration phase. You are supposed to visit the house twice or thrice, three times, right? The person, for some reason, maybe he has gone abroad or he has gone for a relative's wedding for a month or some other work assignment, whatever could be the reason. During that enumeration phase, you were not able to trace that person and you don't have any other reason to drop the person from the electorate. He or she is not dead, not a duplicate, not shifted. Okay. So therefore, absent voters are technically eligible voters of that constituency. They are residents there. Somehow I am not able to find them. Later, you should actually try and trace them and include, which is one of the reasons why they underplayed that number, which is actually some 13 lakh or
14.7 lakh that you mentioned in the copy.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So 52.7 lakh shifted.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So we found very arbitrary application of these categories between different constituencies. So then when we checked with officials, which now Praveena can explain, we told that there was absolute lack of clarity on when to use what. And I think work pressure also pushed them to use one reason. Some places where BLOs were identified, shifted is a safer option. We may not be questioned later, or mark it as absent, something like that. But it is definitely a very clear indication that a uniform set of instructions were not given or followed on the
So
ground.
adding to that, as he said, due to the lack of uniform instructions that were not given to the BLOs who actually work on the field, each BLO has their own understanding, like what they took from the ERO. Maybe they might have also misunderstood. That is what I learnt about when I spoke to some of the BLOs. So it varies across the booths because of this. The use of absent and shifted varies across the booths. For example, when I went to Egmore, one of the booth in Egmore, the residents, though the residents were shifted actually, they were marked as not residing, which is absent. And those who are actually present there, but maybe at that time they would have been not at home, but they have been marked as shifted permanently.
Oh, okay.
But they are living there for around 21 years or something. That is what one of the resident told me in Egmore. So due to the lack of understanding, or maybe because either understanding or either because of the work pressure, like they have to fill the forms and submit it as soon as
meet the deadline.
meet the deadline. So they have to rush on it. So they have used these two as a reason. Moreover, the EROs have conveyed to the BLOs that if they can use absent, if because that is a safer option for them.
Okay.
They can change it whenever they want, even after the draft rolls. But for shifted, they need to give some reason for it. Why they have not been included in the draft list.
But going by the data, see, 52.7 lakh people have been shifted. So the number is more there, the shifted category.
So the residents who are present also have been marked as shifted permanently. Who are present in their home has been marked as shifted permanently. And those who are shifted actually have been marked as not residing. Like it's like they themselves have got confused is what we can say.
Let me remind you that this discussion is based on a series of stories published by the New Indian Express reporters in Tamil Nadu from January 18 to 24 that took a data-driven deep dive into the deletion of 97.4 lakh voters in the state. The link to all the stories are given in the description. In the next video, we will explore how inefficiency of the Election Commission software might have led to the deletion of voters whose names appeared multiple times for no fault of theirs. Thanks for watching.